Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 157 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. I'm Matt, and this week I'm joined by Shane.
Yellow.
And Jake.
Hello, I'm not sick.
Yes, that's good. To be fair, that is something someone who is sick and desperately trying to hide it would say. You know, I'm not bitten.
Yeah.
I'm not bitten. Don't worry about the zombie thing. It's not no.
No, don't worry about it. It's all right.
As always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is a place to find us. Come say hi, hang out in the chat, usual bits. You know how it works. How you guys been doing?
Good. Try not to freeze to
Good.
death.
Yeah, definitely. It's cold here too.
Cold.
Playing more games again. It feels like more and more. Finally, getting back to it.
That's good.
Feels nice.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. For those who don't know, I'm now gainfully unemployed, fun-employed, as it were, as of this week. So I am probably going to be kicking my gaming into overdrive while I have some free time and just trying to clear out some of this backlog. But we'll talk about that in just a moment.
Heck yeah.
But actually, we do have a question here, and I asked this one last week, but I want to get your guys' opinions on it as well. So Isaac, the other week, asked, hey guys, how do you feel your gaming went last year, and do you have any goals for gaming this year? Thanks. Just sort of for context, Keo, Cameron, and I kind of looked through our sort of histories for TA, like our yearly sort of period histories for how many games we played and completed, and I realized and in my case at least, I was scarily consistent. I think I had one extra completion in 2023 than I did in 2024. So, yeah, apparently I'm hitting that like 150, 160 games completed mark a year kind of thing. Again, a lot of that is like title updates and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't know. Well, like, what do you guys think? How do you feel about your gaming last year? I guess to start with.
Great. No notes.
All good?
No notes.
I'm pulling my, like you just said, my period summary for the year up. So
Yeah,
let's see.
It was funny because I was thinking about it for like last year. I feel like 2023 was a crazy big year for games, and I tried to. It was one of the few years where I was like, I want to play all of the big hits so I can have something to talk about for Game of the Year. And 2024, I kind of did something similar, but I felt like there were less kind of big explosive games to play, and so I felt like I was like, oh, I probably played less games, but it turns out I played almost exactly the same amount. So
I apparently gamed significantly less last year than I did the year before. Well, maybe I just did a bunch of cleanup.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, I guess I just did a lot of cleanup because last year I finished 38 games. I started 25. I played 51. The year before that, I only finished 40, started 50, played 71. So, I mean, that's comparable.
Yeah, it's not too far off, yeah.
And that was more than in 2021 and 2020. 2020 apparently I finished 56 games. What did I do then? I know we're not talking about 2020, but like, what the heck?
Here, let's see what I got.
I would say 2024 started really strong and then puttered out right at the end. Like, I basically did a ton of gaming up until August, and then very quickly I started doing no gaming from August to the end of the year. I finished I guess to put it into some amount of perspective, looking at this list, it's very diversified. It feels like I was getting a few completions a month. It felt like I finished Gun, Scorn, Condemned, Alone in the Dark, Bully, a couple Tony Hawk's start to finish, Remember Me, X-Men, Mark of the Ninja, The Crew, Chained Echoes, Deadpool, The Crew 1, actually even, Brutal Legends, Trickery. There was some like, it felt like I was getting through a lot. Resident Evil 7, A Hat in Time, Immortals, finished Wizard of Legend.
But Jake, August, I thought you said you were going to be so free and open, like the rest of the year. So much free time.
That was the plan. Did not come to reality.
On that episode.
Between August and December, I only essentially finished Final Fantasy 1 through 6.
To be fair, you were very busy with those. Like that was a real big undertaking.
I was, but they weren't that long. I don't know, because I feel like I finished 1 through 3 in like a month, and then 4, 5, and 6 respectively took like a month each.
Yeah, but I think I think even when you were talking about them on the show, like the level of burnout you have to have playing that many Final Fantasies. Like those games came out quite a big distance from each other. Playing them back to back to back to back, like I was thinking about it because again, for our monthly theme was like, you know, remasters and remakes of old games, and I was like, that would be a perfect collection, but I don't know if I could put myself through that back to back to back.
It was a good time. It was fun. I did it. I did do it. I said if Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster ever got ported to Xbox, I would play all of them. I would drop everything and play all of them immediately, and that's exactly what I did.
Your word.
That's what I did. I dropped everything and didn't play another game until I finished Final Fantasy 1 through 6. Yeah. So, oh, you know what? And this doesn't even include. Holy crap! That's right. Because I was looking at this, I'm like, I feel like I did more gaming. This doesn't even include retro achievements.
Yeah, that's actually I was going to bring that up too. Is obviously you were a big proponent for retro achievements.
Yeah, I spent a big chunk of time playing through. I did Persona 1. That was like 80 hours to 100%. I did a bunch of GameCube back to back. I think I did 5 GameCube games back to back when the GameCube got retro achievement support. Let me pull up retro achievements now, because that was obviously such a huge thing. And then obviously I'm playing PlayStation 2. So yeah, I'd say other than the last couple months of last year, I had a really good year. And what was the other part of the question? What do I want? What would?
Yeah, is there anything you're looking to like? You know, we are in February, but it's like if you had any thoughts around like things you want to aim towards, or you know, Cameron was talking about like series completions and things like that.
I want to play. Ooh, I finished Gran Turismo 100% too.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, the license stuff is bullshit.
Yeah, I actually for sure there is. I want to, play more new games. The antithesis of my retro hunting. I think I'd like to play some new releases because I haven't played like any new releases. Like I'd like to get into Avowed. I think. Metal Gear Solid Delta's coming out this year, right?
August, yeah,
sure is.
Yeah, I'd like to do that for sure. Hell, even some new games from last year I'd like to put in the mix. Like I want to play Indiana Jones, Slitterhead.
Yes, yeah, of course.
That's on my list.
Yeah, I think that's the goal. Is more new releases, but not only new releases like recent, like in the last like just 2024 and 2025 releases. I think would be fun.
Sure, yeah, I can definitely see that. Shane, what about you? What's your how'd your 2024 look?
Give a quick peek through my stats. Obviously, let's not even talk about 2023, but
yeah,
tend to trend around 80 to 90 games completed a year. I got about 99 last year, but I also did a month of a game a day.
That's true.
So
yeah, that definitely
kind of
pumped
pushed my numbers up. Yeah, kind of pumped them numbers up a little bit, but I think it was pretty standard. I usually have around a 2 ratio, about 80, 90 games done. Don't really start much. I don't finish, so seems pretty on track, and I can't imagine that would change this year.
Of course. Sorry, continue.
No, go ahead. No.
I was just gonna say I have already completed 3 games this year, but none of the games I thought I would have completed. I guess I'm not keeping very good track of what I've done. But
I've only finished a few this year. Oh, 14. Never mind. Maybe more
that's
than
a few. You know.
What I finished? Oh, right. Yeah, I got a few done.
I finished It Takes Two, Battlefield 5, and Maquette.
25.
Is that how you say it?
Maquette, yeah.
Yeah, Maquette.
Maquette. That's what I finished this year.
Yeah.
What have I been playing?
I'm at 25 games completed so far, but most of them were not amazing. Oh no, I mean I'm being unfair. There is some good stuff in there, but yeah, there's a lot to work on. But yeah, I guess Shane, is like anything in particular you're aiming for? I mean, obviously, you know, you are the completionist.
As we've been talking about a few times when I've been on lately, I am playing games from last year, but games I don't think people liked or didn't do well, which I'll be talking about because I did that game for February this past week. Slitterhead's on that list, so I'll be doing that one. Slitterhead, I think next month's gonna be Skull and Bones. I think I'm gonna do.
Okay. Are you gonna pick up? Are you gonna pick it
You
up?
know,
Or are you gonna get the
quadruple A,
Qua-
Ubisoft Plus. I'm not.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
not
say.
buying anything.
Quadruple A, man.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
peak gaming, apparently.
No, I was gonna do bad games, but quadruple A,
Yeah,
I gotta
I mean-
at least check it out. So. But yeah, that'll
I'm
be
very
one.
curious to
Slitterhead.
see what you think of Skull and Bone.
So am I. I don't think I saw anyone playing that game. Like, I follow very few YouTubers. I follow a couple Achievement Hunter, Twitch. But no one played that game. So I'm going to be going in completely blind. All I know is it's a manageable completion time and nothing's unobtainable. So good enough for me.
Yeah.
And I somehow doubt that game's getting DLC. So
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think there's much going on there, to be honest.
I don't think so. No.
Gone and
So that should
abandoned.
be. And then I'm gonna have Ubisoft Plus, so maybe I'll play some good games from last year. Like I know Prince of Persia: Lost Crown is supposed to be amazing.
Top tier. Has DLC too.
Avatar.
Yeah,
Avatar
it's fine.
straddles that line
I like.
of both themes.
I enjoyed Avatar for what it was. I feel like it definitely suffers from the Far Cry thing of having too much shit to do on the map markers. But as like it looks beautiful and it plays like well and like I think it's like a real solid 7 out of 10 game.
Yeah, perfect. But we'll see. But that's just one game a month from last year. Otherwise, I'm just I don't know. I never have really a plan. So
Maybe I'll play my limited run pickups that I ordered last year that are now starting to roll in.
That's a really good idea.
We should
Which would be so far
do an
Alan
unpacking,
Wake 2.
unpacking video and play them.
There we go. On Alan Wake 2, I got, and then it's just going to be a slow trickle in of all of the Yakuzas from 0 to 6.
And
They're up to.
How many are they doing all of them?
They're doing 0 through 6, and 0 is coming with like a box case you can put them all in. Currently, 5 is what is up for pre-order. So 5 will finish out this month, and then next month 6 will be up for pre-order, and then it will be done. I've been ordering those consistently since I feel like September, maybe August, because they've been doing one a month. So,
well, I mean, the good thing is that when you finish them, you can post them in completions and in the overpriced garbage channel. So it's a 2-for-1.
hell yeah! I got all the stuff over. I'm feeling a little. I don't know. I feel like more people need to be posting their overpriced garbage and overpriced garbage. I feel like I'm the only one posting their overpriced garbage.
People really do. I'm going to call it out on the show now. If you are on our Discord, and if you're not, what are you doing? You should join it. We have a newly created overpriced garbage channel for all your figurines and collector's editions and other gaming tat that you've spent way too fucking much money on because you're obsessed with physical for whatever reason, and you just want to show it off and kind of get booed. You know, that's just what. Boo. But no, seriously, people should definitely post your cool gaming stuff in there. I love seeing people's like setups and like all the stuff that kind of. I used to have so much of that before I moved, and I just kind of got rid of it all. So I can live vicariously through others.
I have posted so far Alan Wake 2 Collector's Edition from Limited Run, and then just yesterday I posted a booster box of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Pokemon TCG. So just post all your overpriced shit that we all don't need, and we live in a consumer society and capitalism, and just buy, consume, buy, and then post on that channel.
You just gotta fill.
Man,
the
did you see that
void.
Avowed one? Ooh,
Yeah, the
cool.
Avowed one. Yeah,
With the mask.
I didn't,
Yeah, I
but
want
I'd be
that.
interested.
It's got the
I
mask.
haven't posted this anywhere yet. I got these in today. I did get. I know we're a little off topic, but speaking of the overpriced garbage channel stuff, I got these 2 books, giant, thick, heavy books of the SNES and the Nintendo 64 entire library. It's a compendium of the entire library for both of them. And it shows, like, it gives the game a rating. It tells you if it's like common to find or it's a rare to find game, if it's in abundance or not. It gives you some, like, a neat little, like, a neat thing that game brought to the table. Like a new feature, way it kind of maybe revolutionized some screenshots of the game, the cartridge, the developer, et cetera, and then a full review of every single game for every library.
Very cool.
So
and then it shows
I was gonna say which console was that? Well, that was the
SNES and Nintendo 64.
Gotcha.
There is one. The same author did one for the NES. It's currently out of stock, but he plans to do a new printing. So I'm keeping an eye out for that. It shows hardware stuff too. The Nintendo 64 one goes through all of the different controllers and colors of consoles. And what I really like about the Nintendo 64 one, it was obviously nearly impossible for him to do this on the SNES one because the catalog's huge, and the Nintendo 64 catalog's not as big, but they're the same size book. So they do basically like 3 games a page for the SNES, but the Nintendo 64, each game gets its own page.
Oh, cool.
And it shows you a picture of the cartridge, but then it shows you a picture of the cartridge for what it looked like on the Japanese release and the PAL release too. So it shows you every single cartridge that was printed for it, which is sick.
Are these coffee table books?
Yeah, 100%. They're like coffee
Oh,
table.
nice.
However,
Very
overpriced garbage for sure because they were like $70.
Yeah, of course.
They were
But that's,
not
to be
cheap.
fair, that
that's
sounds
not
like a
bad.
huge amount of work that went into that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
that's-
absolutely. Totally
that's
worth every
cheap.
penny in my opinion. But yeah, they're sick. They're sitting on my coffee table right now. Actually, I cracked them open.
Hey,
this
there you
morning,
go.
Got them, and yeah. Stoked about them. Got to post those in the overpriced garbage channel, even though that's not garbage because we're supporting small independent projects
I'll boo you
and
anyway, it's okay.
books and stuff. But feel free to boo me. Yeah.
I'm happily.
That's great. And I guess just in terms of my stuff, I kind of talked about it last week, but I have been thinking about kind of maybe a new goal. I've been, again, now that I'm not working, I was like, I want maybe to try and direct my gaming a little bit more now that I have a bit more time. And so I was thinking, I have a large backlog of started games, about 180 of them, but I also have a large backlog of unstarted game, probably about maybe another 100 or so. And I'm thinking I might just start diving some of these games and just start jumping into them and being like, fuck it, I'm just gonna like put them on my tag and just get the incentive to start working on these. So I think the plan is I'm going to try and dive at least one game a week, if not more. This week I've done like 3, and I'll talk about them a little bit. But I'm probably going to be asking for some feedback and some, get some opinions from people. Because again, I have stuff in there that's been sitting there for like 10 years or more, of things I've just never touched. Like again, a lot of that'll be backwards compatible stuff, but even then, there's a lot of shit in there. So,
Really quick,
yes,
do you have any games? Do you think? Because I know I do, where they've been on your backlog so long that they outlive them like being worth playing.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a few of them on there where I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and assess them, because some of them I'm just going to be like, I'm literally never going to play this, either because it has like an unobtainable, or like now it's got a discontinued, or some other bullshit where I'm just like, this is like, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely have some stuff in the backlog. I'm like, I don't even remember buying this. I don't know anything about this game. I probably just grabbed it because it was on some sort of sale and said I would maybe play it in the future.
I distinctly remember for me that was Dungeon Siege 3. I remember looking at that game when it was like relatively new on the Xbox 360 was out, and I was like, I want that game. That game looks sick. I like dungeon crawlers, blah blah blah. I've heard good things about this one actually. And I didn't actually finally get to it until probably 2018 or 19.
Wow.
And by 2018 or 19, oh, that game was rough.
Yeah.
Like it would have been probably fine if I would have played it in like 2013, but because it just sat in the backlog so long, it just
We've come a long way for sure.
Yeah, it outgrew its digestibleness.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Anyway,
but yeah, so I probably will be chatting a little bit more about that, but I'll talk about the stuff that I have been playing after we get through news. Speaking of which, let's get right into it. So there was a state of play. So PlayStation had a state of play, and they had a bunch of reveals, and a lot of them are multi-platform stuff coming to Xbox as well. And so TA has helpfully put together a whole list of them with all the trailers. And I figured we just kind of go through and maybe give our thoughts on what we think about the games and if we're excited, etc., and all that sort of stuff. So the first one's Monster Hunter Wilds. They basically show that obviously that's coming out this month. It's like what, like a week away?
stoked.
Yeah.
It looks fucking amazing. Apparently they're going to continue to support it. There's got some extra title updates and free stuff they're going to be putting out for it, which makes sense because this is their first big release since Worlds, I guess, in that sort of genre. I mean, well, I guess they did do, what was the other one?
Rise?
Yeah, Rise, which I guess is kind of like a I don't know. The Monster Hunter stuff is always a bit weird. They showed off the new Shinobi game, which they've been kind of teasing for a little bit. Sega is doing this whole thing where they're redoing their catalog and kind of rebooting a lot of their series. So, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. This game looks fucking sick.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that fly through the news a little bit. I'm stoked.
Yeah, so 2D side-scrolling.
Those platformer sickos.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, I'm sure it'll be way too fucking difficult. Like, it looks one of those like, hey, challenging.
It's a Shinobi game,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, so I probably won't have a lot of fun with it, but it's nice to look at. Like, I love the art style, like that drawn style. It does have a very sort of Mark of the Ninja kind of style to it, which looks amazing. But definitely on sort of frenetic 2D combat. There's a new Sonic racing game. It looks fine. It looks. I mean,
Hey, as long as it has as good of a soundtrack, I'm in.
well, that was the thing. Actually, I was listening to it, and actually they do like redone versions of, because again, all these are like old Sonic levels. So like one of them's like Metal Harbor from Sonic Adventure 2, and I pinged it immediately. I was like, oh fuck, I love that soundtrack. So yeah, it does actually sound like they got some great music.
Yeah, but I'm a little bummed that it seems like it's no longer a Sega racing game. It's just Sonic.
Yeah. Yeah,
just Sonic, which is kind of a downer.
I know.
Well, I feel like they're rebooted. They're trying to make more of a callback to Sonic R. That's the point, right?
I guess so. I don't know. I mean, like,
that's the soundtrack I was talking about. Sonic soundtrack.
Sonic R. I mean, I like Sonic R is great. Well, I don't know about great.
Sonic R's terrible, but the soundtrack.
Sega do know how. The Sega sound team do know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about. I don't even know. This is some Sonic sicko stuff. I don't subscribe to any of this.
You just got to go fast, man.
Go look up Supersonic Racing, Sonic Car soundtrack, and just cat jam for 20 minutes.
I mean, sometimes I just put the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack on just Spotify and just listen to the whole thing, because there's not a bad song on that.
Oh, I mean, Live and Learn. Come on.
Well, yeah. The thing is, like, Live and Learn is like the last song on that list, and it's a perfect way to just
cap.
Fantastic.
Escape from the City. Come on. I mean,
yeah, exactly. So good. There's a new Digimon game. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for this, but holy shit, does this look dramatic? Like,
they always are.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Cybersmith games and stuff?
I know. That's the thing. Is like I played the whatever the Digimon Survive one or whatever that came out a few years ago, and like it was a sort of visual novel with a really really bad visual novel with an okay tactics based grid battle system. This looks like it's like more like an action adventure, like it's an RPG, but you kind of, I don't know, it looks like more like traditional turn-based RPG kind of thing. Like super in my wheelhouse. Visually looks really good. It looks like not like stylistically like a Persona game, but it looks like kind of what you would see in a Pokemon game. Like they basically were like, let's do, yeah.
It's probably because Xbox didn't get a lot of Digimon RPGs. PlayStation has been getting Digimon RPGs pretty consistently since, like, the PS4 had a couple. I think the PS5 had one. So that's what this is. I feel in the same wheelhouse of Xbox is finally getting a taste of that. In which case, for the Xbox only folks out there, I'm stoked for you, because the Digimon RPGs are fantastic.
I mean, yeah, I'm just kind of looking. Oh, okay, it's Digimon Story Cyber, because I think we did get Cyber Sleuth. I think. But
I thought we maybe got a reboot or
like
remake or like side story or something. But yeah, they're out there, the Digimon RPGs, and they're sick. So I'm stoked.
Well, as someone who doesn't know anything about it, I was taken aback. I was listening and watching the trailer. I'm like, is this like a Dark Souls game?
Yeah,
this is really dramatic.
Wow, very dramatic.
And I started talking about the
Digimon's
digital world.
Sick,
I'm like, is this Digimon?
Digimon's sick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, this coming out later this year. It looks like I'm going to keep an eye on this one, to be honest. They showed off.
I have to ask.
Yes.
About the next one, Pirate Yakuza. Why did it take Yakuza to get a good pirate game? Why? What? This looks so good.
It looks really good, actually.
Really good.
It's there's a demo out for it now, so you can go give it a try. I don't know, but like I'm surprised, but also not surprised in the way that like Yakuza feels like they can kind of do everything. Like even in Infinite Wealth, they were like, yeah, we're just going to do an Animal Crossing island, and you're just going to play that.
We've had they've had their little arcade fighters, like the bug women in Kiwami, and they're just like, we'll do it all. It's fine.
No one talks about their zombie game.
That's true. That's
Oh well,
yeah,
that needs to come over.
that's
It
true.
does. It does. That needs to come anyway. It's only on PS3. That's the
Trapped on
only
the
way to play it.
PS3. Yeah,
The PS3 or PS2?
PS3.
PS3.
I remember. Yeah,
Yakuza
PS3?
Dead
Okay.
Souls.
it's the power of the cell.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, so there's a demo, so
Developers
go
loved
give it a try. It looks fucking great. Obviously I want to see the achievement list before I jump into it, but this looks like the kind of thing that I'll like. Again,
I bet I know what it's gonna be.
yeah. Well, to be fair, like most of the Yakuza side story stuff tends to be a little more reasonable. Like Man Who Races Name was
Way
like
more reasonable.
a 30-hour game or something, as opposed to like a 50.
That's the only one, because the other one was the samurai one, and that was also still.
Yeah,
100,
Eshin was
120 hours.
nuts. Actually, you're right. That was even worse. So yeah, it's a good point.
I think it's just A Man with No Name was the only one where they're like, we'll give you a break. You don't have to do
hoping-
every single thing in the game. Just a couple things.
I'm
Have some
hoping
fun.
to dive into
That's a treat.
Yakuza this year as they trickle in slowly my physical
Do it.
limited runs. So
You might
There's a
get bored,
WW
but you won't regret playing them.
No, yeah, for sure.
should I give this the Final Fantasy treatment? Should I do 1, 0 through 6 back to back?
Fuck no. That was just about to say
mean-
like that might actually be the death of you. Like that
That'll-
would be.
You think that
That'll
might
be
make me
your
quit?
year.
I might
That'll-
make me
that'll
quit
be it.
gaming forever.
They're like 80 to 100 hours each, and the games
I know.
aren't that different between each other.
I
Unfortunately.
know.
Yeah, there's a new WWE game. No one cares. Splitgate 2.
Eh.
They're doing an alpha test again. I don't. Whatever. Borderlands 4. They showed the launch trailer. It's coming out September. Trailer was
Fire.
More
okay.
Borderlands.
It was a gameplay trailer, so they kind of showed off all like the cool moves. It looks like they've got a lot more like maneuverability and verticality now involved, where it's like more slides and jumps and kind of boosts, and you can swim now. It looks like you don't immediately die when you touch water. So
Oh.
yeah, so I mean,
We have fish physics? I hope so. Fish AI?
fish AI. Yeah, if you swim close to the fish, it goes away from you, like in Call of Duty Ghosts. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Deep cuts.
That's crazy.
Split Fiction. Also, they showed another trailer for this game. I'm crazy excited for.
I'm stoked.
Yes, this is
They
Hazelight's.
never miss. So
They do not miss. Every single game they've ever put out has been fantastic. So, March 6th is right before my birthday, so I might ask for this for that because it looks great. I know, but yeah, co-op adventure, sci-fi and fantasy, jumping between the two, looks great. Directive 8020. It's the new supermassive Dark Pictures game. They're starting their season 2. It's been a bit delayed because I think the plan was to have it out maybe last year. I think because they usually do like one a year, and they missed last year. So this one's coming October 2nd, right in time for Halloween. Looks great. I mean, I'm sure it'll be a mess because those games are always a bit buggy and kind of a bit ropey. But I love the concept. I'm always a big fan of like them. Each one of those games taking a sort of different slant on horror. With the first game being like ghosts on an abandoned ship, and the second one being like witches. What was the third one? Third one was like mummies and underground like
Even weird demonic underground mummy things.
Yep. And then the fourth one was basically like pure like slasher fiction, like Jason Voorhees, unstoppable thing that just walks towards you and stabs the shit out of you. And so this is looking like it's kind of like Alien meets The Thing kind of thing, where it's like something that replicates human DNA and might be living among us. And I don't know, it looks interesting. I don't know. Have you guys played the Dark Pictures games?
Yeah,
Only the
I
first one.
played Man of Medan, Little Hope, and the third one,
House of Ashes.
House of Ashes. Yes, and I've also played Until Dawn, and I've seen a playthrough of The Quarry.
Quarry, I actually enjoyed the Quarry quite a bit. Again, like the only problem with those games is like from a technical perspective, they tend to be fucking messes and they glitch a lot.
What was the fourth Dark Pictures?
It was oh god, the Devil in Me.
Devil in Me. I played that too. I did play that. Yeah, I played all four.
Yeah. Devil in Me, I feel like I like the concept a lot more, but I feel like the execution just it didn't stick with me.
I've been told they get better as they go. Because
Yeah,
Dawn was okay, but
Yeah, I definitely I think from like like they kind of understand what made those games good. Like, because they obviously when they came out with Until Dawn, they kind of had a smash hit, and
they did. Yeah, they did.
and again, I'd love to have that on
movie's
Xbox
coming.
at some stage. But when they did Man of Medan, it was kind of like I liked aspects of Man of Medan, but there was a lot of like, okay, now you're just a different character running in a different part of the ship without any kind of like context as like what the fuck's happening.
And the story was kind of weak. Honestly.
Yeah.
Little Hope was really good, except I it also frustrates me.
I'm assuming the ending.
First, I would say for reasons of spoilers,
Yes,
but
yeah.
the whole
Yeah, don't
story
spoil it.
was very good, but for reasons of spoilers, it was frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. I like the structure of Little Hope a lot more because it was literally like, hey, this thing has happened. We need to get onto the other side of town, and we're going to hit all of these points along the way, and things are going to happen. And that was kind of like, okay, I kind of got like the progression and kind of like the idea of like, okay, we're getting there, we're
Yeah.
getting there, we're getting there. This is the setback, this is the setback, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
House of Ashes was kind of similar to that too, where it's like, hey, you're going down, like you were going to dig into this ground
Yeah.
and try and figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. I think House of Ashes was my favorite.
It's probably the strongest.
I need to go back and I did Man of Medan and House of Ashes on Xbox, so I need to go back and finish those. Little Hope and Devil in Me I played on PC, so
Gotcha.
I don't have the incentive to go get all the achievements as much.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm really excited for 8020. It looks like 100% up my alley. Like I love sci-fi shit and I love horror stuff. Like it looks like Dead Space, but with like a narrative version, which I'm like, cool.
Cool.
Darwin's Paradox. This looks super cute. Like sort of like side-scrolling platformer kind of thing where you play an octopus and you just kind of
I
have to
think of Inside or Little Nightmares.
Yeah,
for
very much,
cute
very
octopus.
like exactly, very Little Nightmares coded kind of thing, where it's like a weird surreal world that you kind of, as an octopus, have to navigate and kind of. I'm assuming there's going to be like no dialogue or anything. You're just kind of an octopus. Looks cute,
Is,
but also
is this
kind
the
of fucked
prequel
up.
to the Octopus Dad game?
Octodad,
Yeah, that one.
Dadliest Octodad 2, Dadliest Catch. It might be the best tagline for a game I've ever heard in my entire life. But yeah, this looks great. I don't think they said when it's coming out, but hopefully soon. This next one was a kind of interesting. A Warriors Abyss. Now, I'll admit, 2 seconds in the trailer, I nearly turned it off because immediately the first thing it said was Warriors cross roguelite, and I was like, guys, two of the most frustrating genres on
Sure
earth.
did.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, this looks like kind of like a mobile game, like isometric view. You just kill millions of dudes. It kind of has like that Diablo vibe, but with like power ups and yeah, it looks like a gacha game. I have to admit though, like the kind of thing you would play. Like I don't know,
100%.
I was like, yeah, like it's you tap on the screen and then you get an unlock and you get better characters to. I don't know. Yeah, it's Shadow Drop, so it's available now to pick it up. I don't think they're planning on much happening with it, but. It's the Warriors franchise, so they have all the Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors, and I guess the Orochi stuff in there as well. So,
I really like the Musou games.
I
know not for everybody, but I really like them.
I have a long history with them because like I got introduced to them. I got introduced to them with Dynasty Warriors 3 basically. So like I played a lot of them over the years on like PlayStation days, and I kind of fell off them a little bit. I have played a few of them on the 360, but then kind of after that I was like. The games don't change.
Were they like Samurai Warrior games or Dynasty Warrior games, or were they like the spin-offs?
Well, I played a lot of Dynasty Warriors, and I played a little bit of Samurai Warriors as well. Samurai Warriors 2 in particular, and then a bit of Orochi as well, obviously, because that was the crossover game. And then
Because they've got like a Gundam one, they've got a Fist of the North Star one.
I did play the Gundam one. I think I played Fist of the North Star as well. Actually, now that I'm thinking back,
they're good.
Yeah, I mean, so if you like the whole like Warriors thing where they have like like they did the Hyrule Warriors and they did Fire Emblem one, I think.
One.
Yeah, I guess my problem with this is that the games are just so similar to each other that it's kind of like
they are mindless.
Yeah, in a way that I'm like, and they're also like really grindy in terms of like achievement wise. Like if they were like 20-hour games, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, you know what, I'll jump in one of those. But it's more like 50 to 60 hours of just kind of the same kind of thing. And just I just get tired of beating Lu Bu's ass over and over and over again. When he
dang Lu Bu, man.
Yeah, just fucking who dares pursue Lu Bu? And like it's me, obviously, it's me every time, buddy.
I'm here right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Again.
Another one that shut off was Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny. So this is a sort of remaster of the old PS2 classic, PS2, I believe. Yeah, because man, I'd forgotten both how impressive and how rough looking that game was, if that kind of makes sense. Watching this trailer, I was like, wow, because I don't really remember the Onimusha series all that often because I played them when I was quite young, and it kind of wasn't those things that kind of grabbed onto me. But I was like, oh yeah, fixed camera perspective, very like Resident Evil style, but just with demons and shit. And it's like, yeah, like you just get fucked up. But it does look cool. I don't know if I'm going to go back and play it. It's coming out in May. I don't know. Either of you guys played the Onimusha games back in the day?
I'm actually
No,
gonna try
not
to
back
see
in the
what
day.
the gameplay even is.
They're on my short long list of games I want to play. So
Yeah, I'll be curious to see kind of how
okay.
this.
This looks kind of neat.
Yeah, I'm curious how this kind of gels with a modern audience, because it'll have those. I'm assuming have those kind of tank controls from back in the day, so it'll probably be a little awkward to control
wow.
these days. But
You're right. It's Resident Evil, pretty much.
Yeah,
That's
like
wild.
it has that styling and kind of in a way that's
Not what
like,
I thought.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Which then you basically move on to Onimusha Way of the Sword, which is the new one they're bringing out, where it's like, oh, this is just Sekiro. Like you've just made Sekiro with. I'm okay with it because we haven't had a new like game like this for a little while now. But yeah, this looks interesting. Voice acting for the main character, British guy, kind of weird. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen, anyone listening hasn't seen the trailer, go and check out the Onimusha Way of the Sword protagonist trailer they showed off. It's
I'm pulling stuff up right now.
It's I mean, it like fighting wise looks cool, like looks really good. I think I'm sure it's running on the RE engine, and I'm sure that like it'll look amazing because all those games do. But yeah, they got a British voice acting for a Japanese samurai, and it's
Voicing a guy named Miyamoto Musashi.
Yes,
Weird for sure.
Yeah, especially considering like the visual style is based on God, I can't remember his name. Mifune, I think it is. The famous actor from a bunch of like Kurosawa stuff. Anyway, it's weird. I mean, the game looks really good, but I'll probably play it maybe with Japanese with English voice with English subtitles. Maybe is maybe the way to go.
In their defense, it's a Japanese studio, so if that's
yeah,
what they
I mean,
wanna
sure,
do,
like
I
yeah,
guess.
I don't think it's like whitewashing or anything weird like that. They just obviously made a decision. It's just, but also like the mouth flaps don't really seem to match. I don't know. Like maybe it's I don't know. We'll see. But
I'm sure you could play it with Japanese audio and just do it that way.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which again I'm sure very excited for. It was really cool to see, like they show off all of the Cobras and again, you can basically watch this trailer and have seen most of the game because everyone has played this fucking game before, but it's never looked this good before. I'm just hoping they have to keep the big ladder. Like they have to keep the big ladder with the Snake Eater theme playing because otherwise,
people would riot if they didn't keep the big ladder.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they didn't use the Snake Eater theme, so I'm hoping that again. I'm very curious to see. I have like almost like morbid curiosity as like how much does this diverge from Kojima's? I mean, because I still think Snake Eater is probably the best game that he ever made.
Probably.
I personally like the story and the setup for Metal Gear Solid 1 more, but I think 3 is like best like kind of was where it's like his crescendo of like had the technology, understood the story.
Magnum opus.
It's his magnum opus, exactly. Like it's absolutely fantastic. As much as I love the other games in the series, so it is kind of weird having like a non-Kojima remake of this game. How much they're going to change? Probably not a lot, but I don't know. Hell is Us. This I vaguely remember seeing a trailer for this a little while ago. I think was it Jeff? Was it the? Oh, I don't know. Was it? I can't remember.
I don't remember hearing this one yet. I don't remember hearing this about this one until now.
Yeah, so I remember seeing a trailer for this a little while ago, and it didn't look anything like the trailer they showed. It was very much like, oh, okay, you're doing like weird combat. I think it was like a cinematic trailer. But this game looks like I don't know what this game is. It's a action adventure set in a war-torn country, is what it says basically. And the whole thing is that you're someone who some fucked up shit happened to. You're going back to this horrible place where some war has happened, and it's like there's like burned out villages and like weird creepy shit, but also like monsters and weird experiments, and like I don't know what the tone of this game is.
Hey Bill, it's the fancy hotel.
I don't know. It looks very, I mean, like I'm definitely intrigued. This is coming in September, so like not
this trailer looks weird.
Too far away, but this, if you haven't seen this trailer, this is one to check out. I think it looks like it has like a sword, like he has like a laser sword maybe or something. Again, like has like, I don't know. I don't understand what this trailer is trying to tell me other than like this game looks like it's kind of all over the place in a weird, it's going to go.
To be fair, Nacon makes some Nacon? They kind of make interesting games. They're not super mainstream, but they're not awful.
Yeah,
So,
sure. Yeah, I think
I mean-
this will probably be like a double A kind of game, but I'm all about it for this kind of weirdness, kind of like just to discover what the hell the game's about. As long as it plays okay, that's kind of what I'll be waiting on the reviews for. That's my only sort of concern. Like mechanically, I feel like this might be a bit of a stretch, but we'll see. I don't know, Jake. Any thoughts?
No. I just kind of glanced through the trailer. It looks cool. I don't know. Maybe it's like a weird. I don't even know what it's about. You're like you said, you're trying to figure out what it's trying to tell you. I don't know. Maybe it's like time travel.
I don't know because I was
like it looked very sci-fi, but then it looked like there was like an old, like very old war.
yeah, I was like, is
Soldier
this like a
guy,
stalker
like-
style game where it's like you kind of going to like a war torn, Eastern European styled kind of like villages and that kind of stuff and discovering weird anomalies. And it's like it might be that, but also like it looks like it gets way weirder and like way more like surreal and it's like weird like
It's-
structures and shit.
I'm interested. It has got me interested. So
Yeah, yeah. This one's long overdue. Liza P Overture, which is the Liza P DLC, which again I sort of talked about this when Keo mentioned it the other week. I was like, it feels maybe like this might be a little too late. I don't know. I mean, Liza P was what, 2021?
I still see a lot of hype for Liza P, especially in like the Soulsborne streaming space.
Sure.
So I don't know.
It's on Game Pass.
True. And as someone who loves, Soulsborne kinds of games, like I'm very interested in this. But it just does feel like it's taken a long time to get here. And I also I need to also kind of remember how the fuck that game plays and how it works. And I don't know. We'll see. But
You know what other DLC took a long time and it kind of breathed new life into the game and was very hype?
yeah,
Was the Cuphead DLC.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess like there was always instances of these like developers like bringing out stuff a little later than you expect. I guess Shadow of the Old
And it looks like it's in a new
Treasures.
setting, so
Yeah, so I guess
That
the
could be a
idea is
message
that
for people
like
then.
it's a prequel. So like it takes you back in time. I guess you drink your Soldier Boy back in time potion. If you guys know if you guys get that meme, then you guys have been on the internet far too long. Yeah, so it's like it looks like like you're kind of going back and seeing crap before it was all fucked up by the puppets, which is kind of an interesting concept, I guess. Because again, you kind of, I guess a big thing about Liza P is that you're kind of stumbling on this place in the same way that you stumble on Rapture after everything bad goes down. This looks like it's like an interesting kind of an idea of changing things up. Comes out September 4th. I don't know. I mean, I guess if it has achievements, I'll have to pick it up at some stage. I'm also curious
that's true. I wonder if it will.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I don't know if it will have achievements because I feel like, well, maybe it will. Another really interesting one, Tides of Annihilation. Fantasy action adventure game inspired by Arthurian legend. So you're playing as Gwendolyn. It's like you're in like modern London, but shit's fucked up. Some time vortex is open. There's a thing about the Holy Grail. There's chat around the Knights of the Round Table and all that sort of Arthurian stuff.
It's Arthurian Devil May Cry.
Yes, actually, that.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
it looks like kind of a return to form of like it looks like a older God of War or a Bayonetta or a Devil May Cry type.
Yeah.
An actual, because you don't get a lot of those anymore. It feels like every series that was a hack and slash on the PS2 and Xbox 360 has moved past that at this point. So you don't see as many of these anywhere.
It's true. They
And I
usually
like
get on
that.
the
I like
side.
that genre. I like that genre.
I like that genre too. I'm very bad at that genre. As anyone
Me
who's
too.
seen me play Devil May Cry. But like I really enjoyed Bayonetta back in the day. Like I had a great time playing that.
Yeah. Dude, Bayonetta, the Bayonetta 100% 1000 was a fucking treat.
Yeah.
Start to finish. I enjoyed every second of that 1000. That is how you do a completion.
Yeah,
For sure.
it was a great game. Yeah, no release date yet. I'm very, very curious though. Like it also, like from a visual perspective, looks amazing. It looks very. I was gonna say Dark Souls inspired, but actually it's probably more Elden Ring and that kind of like more, lot more golds, a lot more like reds, and not so much like the sort of grim dark kind of stuff. It looks like a lot more like I don't know. Like, it looks fucking fantastic though. But there is also a guy there who looks just like Nameless King from Dark Souls 3. So I don't know. I'm super keen on it. It also looks like it has like a little bit of platforming stuff. Like again, like you can see it kind of like climbing ledges, like a Lara Croft kind of thing. I guess that just has to be in every game now. But yeah, very curious on like kind of what the tone is and what the kind of the gameplay loop is like. If it is a lot more of a technical fight, like a technical thing, like a Devil May Cry, or if it's a bit more casual. Because I get the feeling, like you said, they don't make a lot of those games anymore. But I think part of that is because the skill ceiling for those is quite high.
They're hard. They're hard games. Get good, you know?
Yeah, which is like the hard thing to say these days because like a lot of people just aren't interested in getting
money.
good. Yeah, it's like, well, you know, people want to play through it. I'm sure you can they'll have a story mode where you basically push one button and you kill all the enemies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, even before I was a completionist, I played through Devil May Cry on easy and I loved it every second of it. So
yeah, same.
They're just fun. It's just fun to just rush through smashing buttons and ripping shit apart.
Yeah.
It's a fun formula.
And just having, you know, really cheesy dialogue.
Oh, yeah, that's the best part.
Devil May Cry 1. Yikes.
I love cheese. I will die on that hill.
Oh, God.
Give me more. Bring back cheesy games. Bring back cheesy games.
Oh.
Fire the writers that have master's degrees and art degrees and bring back dudes who have no fucking business writing stories.
So fan fiction writers, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, I think about that all the time. That is, like, almost function. That's, like, where games started, mostly. Like, studios weren't...
They didn't hire writers most of the time, yeah.
They just fucking had a guy who had no business writing dialogue write the dialogue. And it's corny and campy and cheesy and awful. I want it back.
Oh, man. I'm with you, actually. I'm kind of like, I definitely think there's a place for it. Last couple ones here. Blueprints, which is a first-person...
Get it?
Yeah, Blueprint. No, I got it. No, I got it. You got it.
Okay, got it?
No, you got it. No, I got it. I got it.
I actually didn't get it, so thanks.
So the idea is that you basically build this house that you have to kind of traverse through solving puzzles. It looks like kind of like Myst vibes to it, but the art style is very cel-shaded. I was getting the dreaded The Witness feelings from it a little bit too. So yeah, see, and I guess the kind of conceit is that you kind of go through this house and you kind of choose what room is next. And I guess if you do them in the right order, you get some secrets and stuff. I don't know, like they didn't show very much of the game, but it is coming to Game Pass.
Is anyone hyped for this one?
Yeah, this looks right up my alley, to be honest. Looks like a weird, interesting game with puzzles and some. I don't know. I don't know like what kind of narrative they'll have, if any. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this is, and hopefully it doesn't kind of just have nothing to it.
Looks like a new from Joke. Oh, Jake? No.
No, I'm super into it. That's my interested face, not my disgusted face.
Well,
sorry. They're kind of interchangeable, admittedly.
I'll get back to you guys when it's leaving Game Pass then, because this looks like one of those for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I will. I don't know if I'll play it day one, but I probably will try and get it on the list.
I mean, I'm sure I'll love it, but that's definitely I'll get to that when it's leaving.
It looks good.
I think the achievements are relatively reasonable.
Games usually.
It's another one here. Abiotic Factor.
Survival Crafter.
Like
next question.
I was gonna say my eyes almost rolled out of my head when I saw this. And I saw the trailer and I was like, "This looks like shit. This looks fucking awful." To be honest,
I read the description, I read survival crafting experience, and I went go next.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna watch the trailer, but I got halfway through it and I was like, "No, I'm good." What is it?
Makes me think of OG Fortnite.
Yeah. Okay, I can kind of see that.
Yeah, that's what I first thought. Like, did they just remake Fortnite finally? Because for anyone who doesn't know, Fortnite used to not be the biggest thing ever in video games and was just a kind of blah survival crafting game.
Yeah.
Fortnite Save the World.
Yeah, well, it was just Fortnite back then.
Yeah.
Because now the name makes no sense at all.
It was called Fortnite Save the World.
I was like, the visual style I really hate. I hate the animation. I really hate the game. Like this is like, this looks like the antithesis of everything I ever want to play in a video game.
Yeah, it looks pretty
jank.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm pass.
Metal Eden. This is a real quick trailer, but this game looks like they were like, hey, that that new Doom game is looking more grounded. Let's do some fucking like Titanfall shit with us.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, this game looks like this game. I just watched the trailer. This game looks like they're like, wow, that Doom game looks really fucking cool. What if we also brought back Titanfall 2 and made it Doom?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
I'm in.
100%.
Stoked.
It's coming out in May. Again, what the fuck is happening this year? Like, this is crazy. Like, we're nearly done with the list here. There's only one more. Mind's Eye, which is it's a third-person action game from Leslie Benz, who was one of the key people at Rockstar. He was very much the fixer. He has like a storied history of being like someone who closes games, and that like he kind of tightens things up. So obviously he has a real understanding of how gameplay mechanics work and kind of that sort of stuff. And so this looks like a sort of third-person shooter in almost like the traditional like Gears of War sense, in like a genre that we just kind of don't see anymore.
I was gonna say this looks like a really polished up game you see back on the 360.
Exactly. Yeah. I
was gonna say it looks very blockbuster action.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks fun.
I was thinking, it's like, is this like Spec Ops: The Line, but like, you know, in like a town? Like, I don't know.
Down.
Yeah, I'm 100% for it. Like, again, hopefully it's a kind of not like
for
a
me,
blind,
just personal taste wise, I'll probably have to see a review or like all my friends tell me it's a must play.
Sure.
I like Spec Ops: The Line. It's still on my list. I want to play it. I physical copy. I want to play it. But my interest from that game stems from everyone and their brother saying, "I know it's a war game, but it's a really good war game."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, fine.
Agreed.
So that's kind of this is looking like it looks polished, looks cool, but I'm not a huge, the blockbuster action doesn't scratch any itches for me. So somebody would have to tell me, no, this is like, I know it's a blockbuster action game, but it's a really good blockbuster action game for me to be like, okay, sure, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, that's fair. I think for me, it's like I really enjoyed that genre back in the day when it was a thing, when everything was a third-person shooter with chest-high walls in every arena you walked into. So I'm just kind of like, oh, it's cool. It's like, it feels like a throwback. So I'm curious to see kind of if that still even works in today's day and age.
Yeah. My interest is purely thematic based. Just not super interested in that kind of story.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so that was the state of play. So again, like I don't think I've ever seen a showcase that had so many games coming out relatively soon that I was like, I want to play almost everything on that list. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Not a lot that I don't care for.
The fact that most of those got release dates.
Yeah,
So,
also that, yeah,
good for
true.
them.
Yeah, a lot of them are like this year or even early this year.
Hey, this is I just said I want to play more new games this year, so maybe I'll be talking about all of these, most of them on the pod.
Yeah, that's great. I'm super in support of that.
Maybe.
And then kind of some other news stories. Replaced has been delayed yet again and isn't coming out until next year now, apparently. This game is kind of vapor at this point. I think they announced it like 5 years ago. Obviously, they're a Ukrainian studio, so understandably, they've had some delays and it's been difficult. But it's really disappointing because this game looked really, really cool. Diablo 4 has... so Blizzard have come out and basically said that Diablo 4 isn't getting another expansion until 2026. Which seems like a long time.
That's a bit of a long one.
Because I don't think it'll be like, January 2026, right? Like it's probably...
It's like a summer.
Yeah, it's probably like a May, June kind of thing, right? I don't know.
Didn't the gap between Reaper of Souls and the second Diablo 3 expansion, wasn't that like 4 or 5 years almost? Am I crazy? Did I make that up?
You might be right. I don't even remember that there was another expansion, to be honest, because Reaper of Souls...
Well, there wasn't achievements for it.
Yeah, so in my case, it didn't exist. But
yeah, most achievement skipped it. But
yeah, you're probably right. But I guess like it just feels like with Blizzard now being under the ownership of Microsoft, that they would probably be pushing this, and like the fact that Diablo 4 was supposed to be kind of their big model. I don't know. It just when it comes to this kind of like games that are relatively live service or live service adjacent, it's usually like, hey, we have an expansion every year. Like Destiny kind of coined that model. But then again, where did that end them up with? I was like, well, there's maybe not.
I got their fan base, and
they
I would say they're healthy. They have their fan base, and
yeah. I guess it's just like I was just surprised that like Diablo 4 obviously seems to be a pretty big hit for Microsoft and for Activision. And I don't know how Vessel of Hatred did. I haven't played it yet. I've been waiting for a sale because it's ridiculous how much they charge for it. But
I actually bought it. I don't remember why I bought it. I bought it. Oh, why did I buy Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred?
it has been on sale a couple of times, but
There was like a sign in and make this. If you do this thing, it'll make this achievement piss easy.
oh, okay.
And I remember doing that, and I think I had to get Vessel of Hatred to take advantage of it. I don't remember what it was though.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm curious, like what's going to happen. But I guess just the idea that it's not coming out at all this year. But apparently, it's partly because Vessel of Hatred took them longer to make, so they just kind of have pushed out their timelines. But yeah,
I still need to go back finish the base game. I need to grind out my level 100 and my level 50 hardcore character. And I'm just like, that feels like a chore. It doesn't feel like going and playing a game I want to play. It feels like something to do.
Yeah,
It feels like a chore.
I enjoyed it for the most part, but it's like I did it in co-op, which is like made all the difference. Doing it by myself would be an absolute fucking drag. But
Yeah,
I'm with you. Elden Ring's Night Rain, which is their kind of spin-off that's coming out, got announced to be coming out in May, which is a lot.
Have you
Yeah.
looked any more into that game?
A little bit, yeah. It looks fucking amazing.
I mean, it looks like Elden Ring, which is great.
Yeah.
It's starting to sound like not what I thought.
So what we know about it so far is that it's up to 3 players. Or it's either 1 or 3 players. You can't have 2 apparently, which is weird.
Yeah, 1 or 3.
And it's kind of like a roguelite in that it's like you kind of go in, you collect stuff in the world, and then like there's like a timer. And at the end of each timer, you basically fight a big boss.
It feels so weird. Because I heard somebody say it feels like a mod.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
It sounds like it's a mod. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's an
because there
interesting
are a lot of
way to put it.
multiplayer Elden Ring mods.
There are, right, exactly. And so
Yeah.
obviously there's a demand for multiplayer stuff for Elden Ring, but obviously I get the feeling they don't want to try and build a whole Elden Ring style game with balancing and everything for that. Because that just adds it. Because again, like, Elden Ring is a huge game to begin with.
Right. It's not, I mean, it's just, I'm interested, obviously, still, because it's a FromSoft game and a Soulsborne game. But it is definitely at this point now not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious what the reviews are going to be and kind of how much depth there is to this, because it's basically like, I think it's like three day and night cycles, it says. So it's like you have a day cycle and then you have a night cycle where you fight the big boss and you just kind of got to do it 3 times and I guess you get some score at the end or whatever. But yeah, I'm curious like how roguelitey it's going to be, how much, like how many permanent upgrades do you get, what kind of builds are there, like, you know.
What is going to compel you to keep playing?
Exactly.
Where I'm
What's the
confused.
hook? Yeah.
Yeah.
It does look really cool that like, you know, it's like you pick from like one of 8 people, so it's like you kind of have like a set character. Again, like very much like a roguelite where it's like here's your guy who's got really good high health, or here's the guy who does like glass cannon. Like I guess they have like builds. But yeah, it is cool that they're bringing like, it's kind of like a best of in terms of like, you know, like Nameless King showed up in the trailer and a bunch of other stuff from the other FromSoft games. I'm waiting for an Armored Core mech to show up at one point. That'd be great. But
Where's my dude? You know what I'd play in a heartbeat is an Armored Core roguelite.
see, yeah, that makes a lot more sense actually. Yeah,
That would serve to be a roguelite so much more. Like I'm thinking like Everspace 1, but Armored Core.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
That'd be sick.
But yeah, so I'm curious how it goes. But yeah, it's coming out May 30th, so not that long to wait. And I know a lot of the FromSoft people are excited for it.
I think my body just craves Armored Core all the time. Actually, honestly,
they have to do another one, right? They have to.
please. Armored Core 6 did well, and you did a secret level episode. Give me this standalone.
Give me the 4-answer version of it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Use the same engine. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also give me Armored Core 7.
Yes.
And then 7.5, and then 8, and then just keep giving me Armored Core. You went too long without making Armored Core. You went 10 years without making Armored Core. Don't do that again. I crave Armored Core.
Yeah. What about you, Shane? Are you any interest in the you know, you're going to get a team of 3 together and smash this
Play
out?
Elden Ring, my first ever Dark
Yeah.
Souls game? Probably not. Fun fact, I have Dark Souls, the 360 version, installed on my Xbox right now, so that's maybe
what?
happening soon.
You should,
finally,
I want to hear all about that fucking journey. Because as someone who's played as many games as you has and completed as many games, I'm so curious to feel how you feel about the Dark Souls series.
I just hope I finish it and go, well, that was really easy. What in the world?
To be fair, like we've come a long way. Like if you go back and play Dark Souls 1 versus like 3, it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, this is
I heard
actually,
of the good ones.
Yeah. Again, those are fantastic games, but it's like,
Well, I mean, and then even just like Dark Souls 1 came out, and it was like, yeah, it was a hard game, I think, relative to the time, because every game had difficulty sliders. This just didn't, and its default difficulty was just hard mode.
From the demos I've played of it, like at GameStop back when that was still a thing, I remember playing and going, this just feels like an old game, not like a hard game, just an old game.
Maybe that too.
So,
well,
I'm curious to see how it is.
Also, like, I feel like because of Dark Souls, there was a massive spike in desire for hard games.
Sure.
So now there have been a shit ton of hard games. So now going back to Dark Souls 1, it just feels like a game now. It doesn't feel particularly hard.
It definitely suffers from the Seinfeld thing, right? Where it's like you go back and you watch Seinfeld, and a lot of people are like,
oh yeah,
a lot of people are like, oh, this is just boring. Like this, like I've seen this in every other show. And it's like, yeah, you saw this in every show because Seinfeld did it. Like that was like, this is the progenitor of so much of that stuff, and it kind of feels dated going back to it because so much of it has been worked on and it, you know, tweaked and advanced and kind of understood in a way that. But like the original Dark Souls is probably still maybe my second favorite game of all time. Like it's up there in terms of like it's.
I love the first Dark Souls.
It's
for sure.
so it's near perfect, you know. But yeah,
I should go back and do a Dark Souls. I have Dark Souls remaster. I need to go play that for sure.
I have been on a little bit of a Soulsborne kick, and I've been thinking about maybe trying to pick up some more of those games up. Actually,
I need to go back and finish Elden Ring.
Yeah,
and start Sekiro, and also play Bloodborne. I still want to play Bloodborne.
I wish I could play Bloodborne.
Someday.
Great. This will be a quick one, but apparently there was a Wonder Woman game in the works which I completely forgot about, and apparently it's already cost Warner Brothers $100 million, and they basically had to start from scratch. Warner Brothers not having a great time right now. I mean, to be fair, they have not been having a great time for a long time. With this, with Suicide Squad, with Gotham Knights not kind of doing anything for them, and Mortal Kombat 1 kind of not doing amazing. For a lot of reasons, the main one being that they were way too fucking greedy. But yeah, so not much to say here. Apparently it's like it was announced in 2021, but apparently might still be years away from release. Apparently Rocksteady is also working on a new Batman game of some kind, so but that's also a long way away. So Warner Brothers is probably gonna have to, I don't know what they're gonna do. I guess
just return to form, please. Just give me Arkham Knight 2.
That's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah, just return to form.
Yeah,
they shot their shot with Suicide Squad. So
Arkham Knight was so good. Now too many people talk about Arkham City. Not enough people talk about Arkham Knight was freaking amazing.
I haven't gotten to it yet. Otherwise, I probably would.
No, neither.
Get there, both of you. Come on.
It's hard, man.
The combat challenges aren't that
Arkham
bad.
City is
the
so
combat
fucking
challenges
difficult.
aren't that bad.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I just need to do City twice more.
Because you're a G, Shane. Come on.
I'm worried.
Come on, Matt. No,
we'll
you
see.
do
We'll
it.
see. I might. I mean, I have it on the 360. It is part of my backlog. I do need to finish it, so I probably will go back to City. And if I finish City, then I will consider doing. I'll consider doing Night as well.
I don't understand the combat challenge. Like it. I think the Arkham City combat challenges and Arkham Asylum combat challenges are just like this weird thing that just clicked with me that no one else can get. Understands.
Yeah,
literally
I
me.
don't get it.
Arkham Asylum was squarely on my I'm never finishing this list for a bit after I started it.
Yep.
And I went back to it. I'm like, oh, and I just did it.
It just
and
clicks.
then I did it again and again and again because I've done it 6 times now.
When I first played it, long time ago on the 360, I sucked at the combat challenges. And I'm like, I'm never gonna do this. and then you do one eventually, and it just clicks, and now I can just fucking nail combat challenges.
Arguably sounds like a day completion for me at this point. 'Cause I
Yeah,
know all the
same.
trophies. I can do all the combat challenges and everything. Just bang, bang, bang.
That's the thing, is
blow
like
through it.
everything outside the combat challenges, I love that game. It's a Metroidvania, and it's such a fucking good one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really struggle with the combat. But maybe, I mean,
And
you know,
I hope
yeah.
I hope Monolith gets this out though, because honestly, a Middle Earth style Wonder Woman game
That is
could
what I was
really
thinking. Although
work.
apparently
I
they're
mean,
not going to use the Nemesis system for it, which again is like
Which I guess, I mean, I can see that not working really well.
You trademarked the
Exactly.
Nemesis
There's literally
system.
the only people who can. Yeah. But yeah.
Capitalism.
So this might be a next gen release. It sounds like maybe, or the end of this gen.
Yeah,
maybe, we'll
probably.
see.
Is there going to be a next gen? Anyway, that's conversation for another
X-
pod.
Xbox
we can
has said
talk
for
about
sure,
that.
yes, at least.
Well,
One more.
listen,
Yeah.
new hardware, new devices, sure, but like, what is a console generation at this point? But that's a conversation for another podcast.
The one thing I will say is that a bunch of the stuff that we already talked about for the state of play is coming to the Xbox One as well. So like that console still is not dead, quote unquote. So
continue conversation, what is a console generation?
Yeah.
Let's dig into that next time, because
for
I could
sure.
have an entire probably 2-hour podcast on that conversation.
well, next time we have a slow news week, I'll put it on the agenda. And then this last one here is that Xbox is apparently looking to add some more Call of Duty games to Game Pass, some of the classic ones. The rumor is that it's going to be the
Put this
old
down, put this down.
Modern Warfares. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's the What a surprise, right?
I'm doing shocked face for audio listeners.
Yeah, it's what was it, the Star Trek? Yeah, I love that one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, great, cool. I enjoyed a lot of the older Call of Duties. I played most of them back in the day. Be cool to see. I think Modern Warfare 2 got a PC release recently or something. They're doing PC releases of the older ones now, so it would make sense to add them to Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind going back and playing like Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare 2 again. Like I enjoyed going through the campaign again.
I've been saying this but I want to go back and do weirdly not achievement related playthroughs of games. In one of those series is I want to go through all of the Call of Duty campaigns just for kicks, like no achievement incentive, just like truck it on like normal.
Sure.
I don't want to sweat. I just want to go through, start from Call of Duty Classic up to the new shit. Gears also I want to do that for, which is weird because I always talk about how I don't like that series, but so it'd be cool to see some older Call of Duties show up on the I mean, is it wishful thinking to hope that they just chuck on like Call of Duty Classic through like Black Ops 2 or something?
I mean, this is something I kind of said when Activision got acquired, and everyone's like, "Where are all the games?" Because like when Bethesda got acquired, they just put out like most of the Bethesda games on Game Pass straight away. Where it feels like with Activision, they're being like, "Hey, do we have a slow month on Game Pass? Let's go into the backlog and pull some of these Activision games out. Let's put Crash Bandicoot. Let's put Spyro. Let's put Tony Hawk at some stage. That kind of stuff." I feel like it's like, "Hey, we don't have much to show this month, so let's put a Call of Duty on there that people love." They get some headlines, gets people getting on Game Pass or interested in Game Pass. So I don't feel like they're going to go too crazy with like, let's put out 5 of them all at once. I think they're going to real drip feed them.
Lame.
Yeah, which again, I don't like,
right.
because like I want to just play them all and just kind of have a great time with them, but that doesn't make sense from a marketing strategy.
Marketing strategy. Ugh. Look at those guys.
I know, I'm unemployed. I shouldn't be talking about that shit anymore. Speaking of Game Pass updates. So we are right before they announce the next wave, which is very annoying, but we did find out what's leaving. But in terms of what's joined, Kingdoms 2 Crowns just joined on the 13th, and Avowed is coming out on the 18th.
That's the big one.
Yeah, I was very excited for Avowed, and then I saw some of the reviews, and I was like, ooh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, well...
Some of the reviews I've seen have made me more excited for Avowed. So I'm
all I've seen are
interested
great
in why
reviews, so.
let's...
Yeah, okay, I guess maybe in terms of like, it's looking like it's a little more Skyrim than it is Outer Worlds in terms of like its RPG mechanics. Like it looks like it's a little like light on the conversation stuff maybe, and kind of the more again I don't know, like it's just kind of what I've been hearing. A few people have been disappointed. It's kind of getting slightly more mixed reviews than I was expecting.
The one thing I've heard that excites me, because it's the biggest I think, pain point for all of these Skyrim-like, Fallout-like, whatever's, even Outer Worlds, is that I heard that Avowed's combat feels very good.
Yes, which is very hard to do in first person. So
so I'm stoked on that because usually the weakest point of all of those games is the combat. Like I'm just killing bad guys, but I want to go talk to people and quest and find cool things and environmental storytelling and loot and shit. So it's very exciting to hear that a game in that style has good combat as well, fun and engaging combat that feels good. So I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play it right away. Again, this is one of those things where I want to wait for a few people to complete it and make sure it's not completely busted. But yeah, I mean, like, I love Obsidian. They do great work. So really excited to see kind of where this gets to. But otherwise, yeah, we don't actually know anything else that's coming out. Microsoft is still doing that thing where they only release what's coming out in the next 2 weeks. But
I need to go back and finish Kingdom 2 Crowns.
I didn't actually play because
I like those games.
I heard they were good, but I kind of didn't really.
It's fun. It's a lot easier if you can juggle 2 controllers at the same time.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I just need to go back and there's just a title update or 2 that they added since it left Game Pass that I just need to go back and finish. Actually, I think I bought it because I was just like, oh, it's off Game Pass now and I need it and it's on sale and blah 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 blah. So I might just even own Kingdom 2 Crowns. But
we do know what's leaving. Yakuza 3 remastered, Yakuza 4 remastered, Wolong, Warhammer 40k, Bolt Gun, Maneater, Gree, Space Engineers, and Paw Patrol World. So quite a big list. If you haven't started the Yakuza games, you're probably not going to have time to do them. Bolt Gun is a nice easy completion, but there is a DLC for it. Maneater also in that sort of similar vein. I would recommend Maneater for sure. Gree is also very, very straightforward. Paw Patrol World is a baby game. Space Engineers has a discontinued. And Wolong is good. Has quite a bit of DLC. It is a...
Was it?
Yeah, it's got 3 different DLC
2 or
packs.
3, I think.
3 different DLC packs, yeah.
I didn't... How did all of those slip on?
They were not super significant, to be honest. They're basically just a couple extra levels and a couple of new weapons and stuff. Like, it's pretty basic stuff.
I also don't know if I own this game.
But yeah, I liked Wolong quite a bit. I definitely feel like I did when it came out. I also had played it right after playing Sekiro, and I was like, oof. Wolong is definitely not as tight as an experience of that, but it is very much in that vein of a sort of Sekiro style, Dark Souls inspired game with stamina bars and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's from the same developers as Neo, so it kind of has that DNA going through it. But definitely a lot more reasonable to finish. Only a few real bullshit parts. Lu Bu can eat my dick. But otherwise, yeah, I definitely recommend Wolong. I think it's a great game. Also, we've got our Patreons. I'm going to do a quick shout out. So patreon.com/HaulerGamers. If you don't know what Patreon is, basically it's a way to support the show. If you're able to help support the show in any way, we basically reinvest all of the money directly back into it. So I can afford to pay things like licensing, so I can host the podcast and that kind of stuff, and occasionally bits of technology and cameras and other bits and pieces to try and make the show better. So a huge thank you to Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, Natolinator, Mad Lefty, Admiral Awesome, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mate Clown, Mace J, Left for Legacy, and McNulty. Without you guys, we literally couldn't afford to do the show, so thank you all so much.
Without you guys, Matt couldn't afford my hefty salary.
That's true. So, yeah, these guys are very expensive to get on each week.
My writer is expensive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have our monthly theme, which is actually every 2 months. The Bimestral Burden. It's January and February. It's back in my day. So you get time to finish up your remasters, your remakes, and your retro games that have achievements. So anything that came out before never had achievements when it came out originally, and now does. Now's the time to do them. So your Mana games, your Resident Evils, your Final Fantasies, get on it. I want to see some more of those. Castlevanias is a great one. Yes, I saw a great one.
This was the theme for me, and I've barely done it.
I know, Jacob. You were the one who was like, I want to do retro achievements. And I was like, I'll give you 2 fucking months.
I know. I'm awful. I've been playing a retro game.
That's fair.
But only one. Yeah. Only one. So.
Castlevania is a great shout, though.
Don't know if I'll finish my retro game before the end of February, if I'm honest. We'll see. I got all the hard shit left.
Well, let's jump straight into it then, Jake. What have you been playing?
Tomb Raider is the game that I've been playing that's old. Tomb Raider remastered on the PS5. Coincidentally, actually, I just found out that Tomb Raider 4 through 6 came out yesterday too,
Yep,
which is
it
pretty
did,
sweet.
man.
But,
Yep.
Sure did.
Tomb Raider 5, Tomb Raider 1. I just finished my first playthrough today. Actually, rolled credits today. It was my 100% playthrough, so it was kill all the things, get all the things, smash all the things, which was a weird one. And what were all the achievements? Kill all the things, get all the things, smash all the things, die all the ways. Those are the 4 big, like,
Right.
kind of, nail biting, sweating achievements that you
Checklist
hope
bullshit,
you won't pop until the end of the playthrough, and there's no going back. Like, you have to have a continuous save before those pop, and then it'll pop till the end of the game.
Yep.
And those are specifically to kill every enemy in every level, pick up every pickup in every level, find every unique way to die is a cumulative tracker, so you can do that across multiple playthroughs, thankfully. But I still got that. And then the one that I said smash all the things, which is like the weird one out, is they want you to play through the game and break every breakable floor tile as you're playing through it.
The fuck?
I know, it's such a weird one that's like not tracked in any metric. Yeah, there's not a ton.
Sure.
Actually, like, they only come up a few times in a few different levels.
Such a weird choice. Yeah.
It's such an interesting, odd, like, yeah, I agree. It was such a weird achievement. The get all the things achievement is tracked in game pretty easily. Find all the secrets and pick up everything. There was an item that was glitched when the game came out. That's since been fixed, so that's totally safe now. But the kill all the enemies one is kind of tricky because it will track your kills in the menu, but it doesn't give you a X out of X. It's just like tells you how many enemies you've killed. So you have to know. And that can be tricky because the guide I was using for 100% on a few levels just straight up missed a guy. I had to replay through the second to last level today. And most of the times that happened, I was able to be like, no, that's contradictive. Mm-hmm. That contradicts what other sources say. So I'm gonna go use the camera mode and just scan through the level to find the enemies, and that worked for me a few times. However, the one today was at the very beginning of the level, and it was a level that is intentionally designed to lock you out as you progress through it. There's really no way back, so I had to replay the entire level, and it is not even close to the longest level in the game, and the most difficult level in the game.
Yeah, of course.
A whopping 32 enemies. Most levels had anywhere from, on the low end, 3 to 6, and then in the median would be, I would say, probably 15 to 20. So this level had a whopping 34 enemies to kill, whopping 51 items to pick up. And I got all the way to the end of the level, picked up item 51 out of 51, paused and saw, wait, I have 31 kills. There's 32 enemies on this level. And I'm like, is there one at the end? Like, there's a cutscene here that you pick back up? And I was like, nope. Because I found it. I scanned that level like I said I did. And I was like, I think it's got to be there. And then I loaded an earlier save, and sure enough, the enemy pops up there. And I'm like, all right, I got to do this entire level. Which was fun. So now what's left for me for Tomb Raider is 2 more playthroughs, minimum. I have to do a no health pack New Game Plus playthrough is the goal. And the reason I'm going to combine those, and they recommend combining those, is because on New Game Plus, you can only save at designated points, you can only save one time at those points, and you can only use health packs at those points. Your health refills at the end of every level, so New Game Plus, you might as well just try to do without ever using a health pack.
Sure.
That's going to get super dicey on the last 2 levels. because the last 2 levels have a lot of forced fights against incredibly strong enemies. So,
Yeah.
wish me luck, I guess.
I mean,
it's
like,
gonna get rough.
The combat
luck.
was unfortunately the worst part of those games, right? Like, it just
Yeah.
is not.
Yeah.
It's not aged well.
Brutal. I'm gonna see if I can't. I don't know. It might be almost worth buying. I want to avoid paying money if I don't have to. But you could use the level skip to get the no health pack achievement on version 1.0 of the game. So I'd have to essentially figure out a way to get a digital conversion of the game that's not updated and do it offline. Unfortunately, the disc, which is what I have, the physical version, comes with a higher version than 1.0.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I would have to buy the digital collection, which I don't want to do because I already own it. So I'm going to try doing it myself, and we'll see how that goes. And then after that playthrough is the speedrun, 5-hour speedrun, beat the game in 5 hours, and with using 86 or less saves. Is those two trophies. So there's 7 trophies remaining. It's those 4, and then there's one for not killing the dinosaur, and then there's one for using the level skip cheat. And then there's one more skip. Oh yeah, the skip. There's an achievement for only using the pistols, which you can do by using the level skip cheat. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm tempted to find a video guide for New Game Plus in the 5-hour speedrun, just because.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I've now played through the game one time, it's still like I still couldn't. I don't think I could navigate the game on my own. Plus, I was getting everything, so I don't really know what's purely required A to B. Yeah, like what do I need to do that's only what I need to do, but also somebody who's not a professional speedrunner at the game, what do I need to do that, and also kind of keep myself alive, like. Where should I go break for ammo and where should I go break for guns and blah, 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 blah. So that's next. And I'll probably start that tomorrow morning. And then other than Tomb Raider, has been Elder Scrolls Online a little bit still. I'm fitting that in, mostly doing dailies and when I have a couple hours to play games and that doesn't feel like enough time to sink my teeth into anything, I'll go do some zones. And then I'm playing Dirt 3 still on the PC.
Oh.
I am going for as many achievements on Steam as I can. I don't think I'll be able to get all of them, especially anything multiplayer, because I don't know. I don't have a community to boost multiplayer
It's hard,
on Steam.
Steam.
And I'm not in the market for one particularly. I don't really. It's not worth it to me to finish Steam games, so I'm still gonna try to get everything I can. But that is pretty much it. Just dabbling Dirt 3 and ESO, and hard focusing Tomb Raider. And I played a smidgen of Pit People on the PC as well. Pit People's been fun.
Okay, yeah. God, I haven't thought about that game in a long time.
Yeah. I didn't really. I saw it kind of fly by. But I haven't really played any of those games, any Behemoth games, since Castle Crashers. So I kind of didn't know what Pit People was, but also did at the same time. It was kind of cool to figure out it was basically a Fire Emblem auto battler.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Weird, interesting. Yeah, each of their games are always so weird and different that I'm always curious, like what's
so weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to get
So Pit People's pretty fun.
I need to get the last couple of achievements in Alien Hominid, actually, now that I think about it.
Playing Pit People on Steam, don't know if I'll go for all the achievements or not because they look like a pain in the ass. Looks like if I were to do that, I would be playing a lot of Pit People. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's it for me.
All right. I have a relatively long list. Like I said, I've had some free time, so I have been busy with a few different games. So finished up Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So I did that with Stubby and Cameron and Kia. That was really it was good. I mean, like I think that game is definitely a game made during COVID. We kind of talked a bit about it last week, but it's kind of like, yeah, it was. I feel like I don't know, the fact that it was quite limited in scope and the fact that you just kind of ended up in arenas over and over again and kind of didn't have like a really big, nice, cohesive world, kind of hurt it a little bit. We also did a Resident Evil Reverse, which was being shut down. So I own Resident Evil 8, so I was like, fuck it, we'll just do that. And we got it done in like an evening. It took like 3 or 4 hours. Also finished up Blasphemous, which I talked about last week. A fantastic side-scrolling Metroidvania with some real sort of Dark Souls religious fucked up shit. Really, really good. New Game Plus is a bastard, but they released a bunch of new updates for it. So like there's a bunch of new abilities and things you can get. One of the achievements was a bit glitchy, but thankfully when I started New Game Plus, it unlocked immediately. So I think maybe the requirements may have slightly changed.
Sorry, what game was this too?
Blasphemous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Finished up Bloodstained. Great game.
Great game.
Yeah, great fucking game. They need to make another one. Like Ega needs to just make some more games. I just need to play. I've forgotten how much I love Metroidvanias playing through Bloodstained. Also did Shady Part of Me, which came to Game Pass recently. It's an interesting platformer. It is kind of a mix between. It's a half 3D platformer and half 2D platformer. So the idea is that you play as one character who has the 3D movement, and then you play as a shadow, and her shadow has like different stuff. So her shadow is like can jump and has like 2D platforming stuff around like, timing jumps and spikes and ducking and kind of stuff. Whereas the 3D part is more about like block puzzles and avoiding light and kind of sneaking and that kind of stuff. It's pretty good. It gets a little bit annoying that some of the mechanics are a little bit loose in terms of like how they work. There's a whole like gravity mechanic that's not kind of great. But it's relatively inoffensive. There's a really good walkthrough on TA that gives you all the collectibles and everything. So you can kind of just breeze through it. It took me maybe 4 or 5 hours. I also kind of talked a little bit about this last week, but Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. So the PS4 release, I think it was, back in the day, was one of those ones I was like, oh man, I really wish I could play that. And then suddenly it was half price on Xbox, so I picked it up. Played through all of that, and it was great. It's a fantastic game. It is very much like a old school PS2 style game with some Legend of Zelda kind of thrown in there, where it's like you get a bomb ability, you get a bow ability, you get a dash ability. Like it has a little bit of Metroidvania stuff. There's a lot of collectibles and like a lot of power ups you can get, and also the little like rot things that go around with you. You collect little hats for them to wear, which are very cute. I guess my only thing about it was I thought there would be more of the kind of Pikmin Overlord kind of stuff with the rot. The rot don't actually do a lot in the game. Like you can use them for your abilities, and occasionally you'll get them to like move something or lift something. But like puzzle wise, it's quite simple. I was kind of expecting maybe a little bit more depth in that. But the combat is also like there's quite a bit to the combat. It has kind of a Dark Souls style, like heavy attack, light attack on the triggers and bumper. But overall, really, really good game. You can play through all of it on story, and then there's a trick where you can, if you have a save from story, you can basically get the Master achievement by starting a new game on Master, getting to the first boss, and doing like a level skip trick, which is really, really helpful. So definitely recommend doing that, because the game on Master is really fucking hard. Like strangely difficult. So yeah. And then for kind of new stuff that I've thrown myself into, I started Mortal Shell. So I was talking about Soulsborne games, and this is very much not so much inspired, but basically completely rips off the original Dark Souls. So Mortal Shell, it's kind of like a very condensed version of the original Dark Souls game, where you, instead of leveling up your build, you basically have 4 or 5 different shells that you inhabit, and each of those have different kind of stats, and you kind of choose which one you want to progress. So there's one that's like, instead of a block ability, you have a harden ability where you turn to stone, and you can block any attack, but it's all about timing. So the idea is that you can get to a fight and do a combo, and you're part of a 3-hit combo, and you're about to do the 3rd hit, and then you realize you're about to get hit by someone. You can harden in the middle of that combo. The guy hits you, gets stunned, and then gets hit by your attack. So there's a big timing element to it. That's kind of an interesting it's kind of an interesting conceit that I haven't seen before. There's also a parry button. Again, it's very difficult to pull off, but also can get your health back. There's no like Estus flasks or anything like that. It very much does the original Demon Souls thing of like consumables that heal you, which is something I fucking hate. But you can just get like a million of them if you really want to. It has an interesting mechanic with items with familiarity. So the more you use an item, a familiarity bar goes up. And if it fills completely, you get a bonus effect on that item. So, for example, there is a mushroom that if you eat it, poisons you. But if you eat it twice, you develop an immunity to poison with that thing. So you can use it to get rid of poison. You can use it if you're fighting poisonous enemies. Same thing with the healing mushroom. If you use it, I think it's like 20 times or so, which you definitely will by the end of the game, it'll heal you faster. So like it's like a much faster effect. And you kind of learn these abilities, and kind of as you eat and consume these things, some of them are good, some of them bad, that you kind of learn bonus effects, which I think is a fun kind of system. I've finished my first playthrough of it, and I'm on my second playthrough, which is a no shell playthrough, basically, which means that you are one hit kill and you die, but you have a huge amount of stamina. So you can basically like run circles around your enemies, and you can harden whenever you want as usual. But it also means that it's really tough. But also because you can't upgrade yourself, you don't have to fight any of the enemies. So I've beaten the first boss. There's there's about 5 bosses. So there's 3 major bosses. There's 1 mini boss you have to fight, and then there's the final boss. So I am at the second boss right now on that playthrough, and I'm getting my ass handed to me because here's a guy who has a spear in one hand, and then has a symbiotic twin on his chest that has a crossbow, and of course 1 bolt will kill you. So there have been many times where he like jumps back and just starts firing crossbow bolts at me, and I'm just like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I've been really struggling with it. It is very, very tough. The other part is that they also released a DLC that has a complete roguelite mode in it, which basically remixes the entire game with like 1 death.
I love those.
Yeah, I've been playing it a little bit. It's okay, but it's very tough. It is also the thing where it's like as you get more levels up and stuff, you get more equipment, and it kind of makes it a little bit easier, and you kind of learn abilities and stuff. But this is going to probably be a bit of a slog for me. It's going to be one that kind of work on it bit by bit. I mainlined it as much as I can, but I've definitely hit up against the wall pretty hard. But yeah, I'm very much in the get good phase of that game. Finished up Mortal Kombat 1. They finally released the Titan. Another one, again, like I said, I'm kind of picking things from my backlog that I've just been sitting there forever. Lair of the Clockwork God. So I think I'm like the 12th person to finish this on Xbox. This is a real throwback, but back in the day, I think it was like Newgrounds and that kind of stuff. There's a team of 2 guys, Ben and Dan, who would make Flash games. And so they made a game called Ben There, Dan That. And it was a fantastic Flash-based point-and-click adventure, very much inspired by LucasArts, like 1990s kind of style games, like Secret of Monkey Island and that kind of stuff. They also did a sequel called Time Gentlemen Please, which was kind of the same kind of thing, but with time travel. And then all these years later, like I think back in like 2020 or something, they released this game, which is Lair of the Clockwork God, which is a sequel to all of those adventures. But the interesting conceit here is that you play as both Ben and Dan, like you did in the previous games, but now Dan has adapted with the times. He is now a platformer. So he jumps on stuff, he wall bounces, he can't pick anything up, he can't investigate anything, he steps on levers and stuff. There's a fun part where, it's very meta, like it's very, very meta. Like there's a whole part where he dies and goes to basically the place where you respawn and has to fill out a form because he has like a spike stuck in him that he has to get rid of because he's not allowed to carry something back to his anyway. Ben on the other hand is basically, he's like, I only do the adventuring thing. I can't jump. I refuse to jump, and I can't run. I just walk at a normal pace, and I just investigate things. So the idea is that you kind of have 2 different games, and the 2 characters interact with each other, and you kind of have to help each other solve puzzles. It's a really interesting idea. It's very, very funny. Like it's very, very crass. There's a lot of real. There's a whole. Again, I don't want to spoil anything because I think people should actually go and check this out. I think it's very, very funny. And if you have any love for kind of point and clicks, especially from those LucasArts days, this is like a love letter to them. But also like a kind of deconstruction of them, like making fun of them and also kind of understanding why things work and why things don't. Platforming also is quite difficult, but there is a adjustable difficulty slider that you can kind of be like, I'm not really good at these kind of games, and they take away some of the obstacles. My one problem is, and it's not with the game itself. Well, it's kind of with the game itself, but the guide that I used for it on Neoseeker misses the one achievement that you cannot chapter select for. So, like I said, this is a meta-narrative game. There are four invisible walls in this game that when you push up against them, your character will comment on them. One of them is in the first level, one of them is in the second level, one of them is in the third level, and one of them is in the final level. Now, when you finish a chapter, you can chapter select and jump around, but if you miss one of those and you try to go back to it, the chapter select will remove all your progress from further on or behind. So I had to basically play through this game from chapter 1 all the way back through again because the guy didn't tell me about these achievements. It's the one thing that you can't chapter select for. It also misses a couple of other achievements, but those are easy to get later on. So if you are going to play this game, just keep the guide up for those. You only need them for the first 3 levels and then the final level, because basically the final level is kind of a repeat of the first level, so you do the same thing. Anyway, really, really fun game. Kind of left a sour taste in my mouth having to play through it twice, but it is very, very funny. And it definitely has that, like, you know, you can probably go in without a guide if you just kind of want to have a real, like, point-and-click adventure, kind of classic experience. But yeah, it's just one of those things I was like, I picked up years ago, and I've been looking at it for years and just been like, you know, today's the day. I'm just going to do it. Also played a bit of Monaco. I've been playing more Octopath Traveler, but nothing more to say there. And then the last one is Neon Chrome, which is another been in the backlog forever game. It is a very basic co-op roguelite twin stick shooter. You are basically like it's like Netrunner, Cyborg, you know, cyberpunk shit, where you basically control someone, you choose a build, you go through, you level up, you gain new abilities, gain new guns, and you fight way up 25 to 30 floors depending on how the RNG works. You find secrets, you get new guns, you unlock new abilities. Again, like, it is a very, very basic roguelite. It is quite fun. When you come back, when you finish a level, you have credits, you go and basically upgrade either your luck or your damage or your energy or your health, like permanent upgrades. And then also you can kind of buy any ability that you've encountered, you can kind of buy to start with it, but they get more expensive as you buy more.
Cool.
So it's quite a forgiving kind of game. I'm literally like 1 run away from finishing it. I've got 1 secret left to find. The only thing is that, like, there are 5 zones, and each zone has kind of a chance of having a secret level in them, and you have to get all the secret levels. There's like, maybe you think between like 12 and I think it's like 10 to 12 per floor. But it does mean that, like, I now have a secret on floor 5 that I have to get. And I'm like, fuck, okay, well, you can start at the beginning of like that floor. So I can start at like room 30 or whatever, or it's room 20. But it does mean that I'm going to be super underleveled. So I'm debating like how much of an issue it is. But either way, this is made by 10 Ton. They've released a lot of kind of smaller stuff you've probably played. But yeah, I was like, oh, you know, I wanted something mindless. I really wanted to get this off my backlog. And once I finish this, I'm going to pick something new. I'm going to try and do 2 and then pick a new one. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I've been chatting forever. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I want to talk more about Octopath Traveler, but I want to put more time into it first. All right, Shane, what do you got?
Done. I didn't play. Oh, I guess I played plenty, but first I did Return of Grace.
Oh, yes.
Knock that out for left Game Pass. That was a cute game.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting sort of walking sim kind of.
It's a narrative game with no conflict, so that means follow a guide, nice and easy. I'm not even sure if you can skip the dialogue. I didn't. I listened to all of it, so maybe you can make it faster. But I actually wanted to listen to the story. It was pretty good, not too bad. And then on the same track, I finished A Little to the Left. Finally, I have been dragging that out forever because fantastic to get quick achievements for my streak if I need to. I can do it on my phone because touchscreen actually makes it faster, so I can do that quick if I need to. But sadly, it's leaving Game Pass, so I finally had to dive in and complete it. I had to play it through again for the no hint and no skip achievements, and then there was the 2 DLCs too.
Yeah.
So, but I had to use hints sometimes because, heck, one time I used an achievement. I remember I was on the road to see a friend, and I forgot that hadn't got an achievement before I left. So I literally parked at a gas station, loaded up, revealed a hint, and then went back on the road. So to get my achievement for the streak. So, and then I did Tales of Kanzera Zao, which that was my February 2024 game. So I decided to do that. It was the not Prince of Persia Lost Crown of the year.
Definitely.
Yep. And I thought I'd fit the theme because it's February and that's Black History Month, so perfect timing. You can listen to the whole game in Swahili, and I did that, and it's great, fantastic. The story's okay. I like the movement.
Yeah.
So very similar to Suicide Squad. I finished recently too. Like just moving and just dashing around and darting around enemies and knocking them around. That was fun. I really did enjoy that game. And it's pretty short. I finished it in I think 8 hours.
Yeah, it's about.
So it's not very long.
About the same for me. Yeah, it was pretty. I think my only real issue was that it was maybe a little too short. In that I was like, oh, I have like a lot of abilities kind of up front. I was kind of expecting maybe a bit more stretch it.
It does kind of peter out at the end.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep. I mean, small development team, so maybe they literally did just ran out.
Yeah, man, potentially. Yeah.
The combat wasn't super complicated either. You kind of pick. You got two masks. You got the moon mask and the sun mask, and yeah, either you want melee or you want darted ranged attacks, and that's kind of it. I never felt like the fire mask had very much in the way of combos. Like it didn't feel very good to use, so I almost used the moon mask. Just dart in, knock him into a wall, shoot, move to the next guy. So
Yeah.
easy enough. And then on theme with our bi-monthly menstrual cycle, whatever, I am doing Castlevania Dominus Collection.
Great collection of games.
Yes. It is Order of Ecclesia, Portrait of Ruin, and one of my top 10 games of all time, Dawn of Sorrow. I am very excited to get to that. Achievement-wise, I'm a little disappointed. Unlike something like Bloodstained, the achievements for each game is literally just finish.
Oh, really?
Beat each story boss. There's no
okay. I didn't
collect all the glyphs as in Order of Ecclesia. There's no get all spells in nope, none of that. Just
okay.
beat them all. You don't even need a guide really. So.
Oh, that's a bit disappointing because I feel like the Advanced Collection had a lot more stuff.
Yes, it had a few of those miscellaneous achievements.
Yeah, definitely had a few more. Yeah.
But nope. You don't even need a guide. You just complete the game. You got the usual rewind and quick save features. So
is Order Ecclesia as hard as I remember it being? Because I remember that game being surprisingly difficult.
I did not like that game.
Yeah.
That was not fun.
Yeah, same.
It's the first Castlevania game I've ever played where the resistances and weaknesses actually matter. Like hardcore. Like you have to use hammers on skeletons or you won't beat them and they'll kill you. Whereas I'm now playing Portrait of Ruin as my second one, and yeah, it's right back to, well, I like this sword, I'll just use this, whatever, I'll figure it out. So, I actually owned all three of the games on DS, and I can see why I jumped off Order of Ecclesia. It was not my speed.
Same.
I can't imagine how hard that game was. I can't imagine how hard that game would be without rewind. I use that a lot.
Yeah.
But Portrait of... What?
I was just gonna say, I'll tell you when I finally get to play the Dominus Collection. By the way, you can keep going. I just ordered my physical copy, and it's
I really wanted, like, it's been one of those ones where I really wanted to play it, but it's like it's only been like a 20% off sale, and so I just can't justify it.
Yeah,
right
a friend bought it for me, so
nice.
I didn't have an excuse not to play it. I'm not sure why I didn't play Portrait of Ruin. I think I played through the first level / portrait in that game on DS, and I'm not sure why I stopped because, like I said, all the achievements are tied to just beating the bosses, but I am grinding through the codex or encyclopedia or guide, whatever it's called, filling that out, getting all the items, spells. I'm having a great time, so I'm not sure why I dropped off that one. And then I can't wait to get to Dawn of Sorrow. I'm gonna collect every soul. That game is so me coded.
I 100% Dawn of Sorrow back on the DS without a guide. I just loved playing it that much. I
didn't use a guide.
Every
Absolutely
little
not.
nook and cranny. Yeah.
Yep. It was so fun.
I just looked in every little nook and cranny and killed every little enemy until it dropped everything and finished
That was my
whole...
top Castlevania game until Bloodstained came out.
Yeah, I mean, I still love Symphony of the Night, but I think that and also the things like I missed the Advanced Collection, like when it came out. Like I didn't have a Game Boy Advance, so I missed all those games. I'm playing through the Advanced Collection. I was like, oh, I never played like Aria of Sorrow or Harmony of Dissonance, and what was the other one?
Circle of the Moon.
Circle of the Moon, yeah. And so like again, I'd never played.
Which is the one I played.
Yeah, and they're fucking really, really fun games. I was like, oh man, this is fucking great. Like I love these games. It is funny, like Dawn of Sorrow. Like I was just thinking, like I did play a lot of Dawn of Sorrow because it was a DS release game, or it was close. I don't know. If it was a launch
it was
game.
Early.
It was like a launch
of the
game.
three on this collection, it's the earliest one.
Yeah, I remember the whole thing was that you had to draw the glyphs on the after you beat the bosses,
which you have to do that on Xbox.
Oh,
you just do that.
What do you use with sticks or something? Like, how's that work?
So what they do, if you haven't seen any screenshots or my stream or anything, it's the big screen is the bottom. The bottom screen of the DS is this big screen on the left side. You can change the format, but on mine it's the left side, and then the top right is the top screen of the DS.
Right.
And then they were nice enough to include the enemy information at all times.
Oh,
on the
that's
screen,
handy. Okay.
which is fantastic. Which shows like how much experience you get, their weaknesses, resistances, their name, their drops, all that stuff. So that's helpful. So but yeah, and then you use the right stick to do DS stuff. So you don't have to do. There's not a lot of that in Order of Ecclesia or Portrait of Ruin, but
I think they realized no one liked it, so they took it out of most of the games.
Because that's how you beat bosses in Dawn of Sorrow. So it's gonna be fun to like quickly try to draw that thing while then the boss respawns. It's gonna be great. Oh, I guess I can rewind. I guess it's not gonna be that bad.
I pulled it up here. I ordered the Dominus collection, October 12th. I will get it in July 2025.
Christ.
we look forward to hearing about it.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, so I guess in a way, it ended up tying into the theme.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's great.
I actually started multiverses because I really want to get that done before the shutdown. But none of the achievements are tracking or unlocking right now.
Oh, really?
So, or sporadic. So I'm not taking that chance with that server closure coming up.
No way.
So I will be checking in later. Because I'm bummed because from the little I played, it's a very good Smash Brothers clone. It feels... I was whooping. It feels very good. Unlike the Cartoon Network one. Multiverses.
Yeah.
Unlike the Nickelodeon one, unlike the Cartoon Network one, it does feel like they put some major effort into making this feel smooth and competitive. It's very good. So I do hope they fix it because I will absolutely get on that immediately. But
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's all I was playing.
Okay. I remember, it's funny when you talk about like Dawn of Sorrow. I remember that there was that whole time when they were releasing things on the DS and everything had to have a DS subtitle. So Dawn of Sorrow, and I think there was a couple other ones.
Dual Souls was something, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe.
Yeah, and I think, was it Resident Evil had, I think it was Deadly Silence.
Silence, yep.
It was just, again, like, it's so stupid. And they did the same thing with...
It's kind of like everything on Super Nintendo was Super.
Exactly, Super, yeah. And then on the Xbox, everything was HD. So even like, was it Harmony of Despair or whatever the Castlevania, the multiplayer one was. Yes.
Good stuff.
Fun naming conventions. All right. Well, that's a good list of games. We've been talking for a little while now, so I will wrap up quickly. We also have the word challenge. I haven't seen too many guesses, so I'm going to give you guys a real big hint. If you don't know what the word challenge is, I pick a game every now and then, and you have to go and guess what it is on our Discord in the channel called Word Challenge. You get one guess per hour, and if you get it right, a GIF or sometimes a still image because the GIF bot is fucking broken will pop up and you win. So the first clue is that this game has multiple playable characters. It was released before 2005. It's from a series that started in the 1980s. The series has a movie or TV adaptation, and this new clue is this is one of the first 3D games of this series. So best of luck. I have one other clue, but I'm not gonna give it away because that will basically give it away. But so go in there, give it a try. I want to see some guesses in there. Good luck. We also have our leaderboard, which is where people who are earning achievements, we basically put the top 3. I'm going to put top 4 because I am number 4 this week with 6,102 points. In third place, we have a Grey Shark with 12,990, a big fucking jump. Mephisto with 15,470, and Thrash Forever with 18,595. If you'd like to join the leaderboard, let us know. And I think that's pretty much going to bring us towards the end of the show. We do have our completions. I'll run through them quickly. Doodoo Light writes long reviews, got Titanfall 2 done. Rapture finished Return to Grace and a little to the left. Stubby finished up River City Girls 0. Ronikins finished up Door Done and Overcooked. Professor Pluto also finished up Return to Grace. Chin Doctor Kirby finished up Strange Horticulture and the Deponia series, especially that last one takes a long time. Lord Mud finished up Dark Souls, and he's been talking about doing the other ones and everything else in the series. And Bottle of Sharks also finished up Return to Grace. So nice work, everybody. And that's going to bring us to the end of the show. As always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. And if you'd like to join our Discord, let me know. Let one of us know. We can give you an invite. I wish I had a nicely easy usable URL. But if you're on the Twitch, we can chuck it in the chat there. Otherwise, let us know. You want to join the conversation. We love our community. And that's where you see all these great events and all this kind of boosting and helping each other out and talking about achievements and kind of understanding what games are good and what aren't. All right. Shane, what have you got going on?
Not much. I'm gaming every night. I'm streaming on Twitch. You can find all my links at firehawkd.com. Just easier just to find them all there.
Sounds good. Jake, anything coming up for you?
Nope, same old, same old. You can find me in the Hall of Gamers Discord or Achievement Hunters Anonymous or everywhere gaming-wise. Well, actually, that's not even true. I'm either Reptarners 3000 or just Jake SD. My Discord profile should tell you what and where.
Easy. And as
I
always...
don't even remember. No, at this point.
Just brand consistency's out the window. And as always, I'm Neomaster on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord. If you need to get a hold of me for whatever reason, thank you all for joining us. Thank you to my wonderful co-hosts and our wonderful patrons and all the people who help make the show possible. That's been one episode. So this has been episode 157. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
Adios.